Hello and welcome to the New Who Review, the second show in our series. And today we're joined by Charles
Morning.
and Connor.
Hello.
Right, so let's start off with talking about In the Forest of the Night. What did you think of this episode, Charles?
I enjoyed the episode. Um, it was a simple episode, really. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot for the Doctor to do, but I did think that the story was a good development for an episode. Um, it's kind of one of those episodes where even if the Doctor doesn't kind of show up, I think everything was going to happen that happened. But all in all, I found a good, very, very good episode.
Yeah, what about you, Connor?
It didn't really do anything, to be honest. It was a good episode, but there was nothing in that episode that could lead on to a further episode other than Missy at the end. But it was good, but it was just all a bit pointless.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this episode because I thought that, like, while I'd rather this series be kind of dark, I've kind of got to the point where we've had like episodes like Robot of Sherwood, like it's going to be light-hearted at times, and I quite enjoy. Although I would have preferred him to be like dark. I quite enjoyed Capaldi as this kind of like light-hearted alien man that kind of can travel through time and space in a police box. A bit like a tiny bit like Matt was, but not too much. And I thought like in this episode he was more like that. There were parts where he was a bit grumpy and he was a bit like when he was talking to that kid at the beginning and asking her what her name was and stuff. He sounded a bit grumpy, but I really like Capaldi. And then I thought that the story was. I don't know. I thought the story was a tiny bit weak, but I didn't mind it because like we've got two episodes that are going to be heavily reliant on a strong story coming up this week and next week, the finale. So like
Right.
as a bit of a filler, I kind of enjoyed this episode. I was a bit disappointed that Capaldi didn't really have to do much, and it was more focused. I thought it was more focused around Danny and Clara, because in the end, to be honest, they didn't really do anything to solve the problem. I mean, the problem solved itself in a way with the
Right.
solar flare, kind of going over the Earth, and then the trees being used as a defense mechanism to.
Yeah.
The Doctor just kind of let it run its course in a way, and I thought that felt a bit weird. But I didn't mind this episode as a filler. If it was a part of like the actual overarching story arc of the whole entire series, which it was in a way, because obviously we saw Missy at the end.
True.
I don't know if I would have been so kind towards it. So yeah. It was an okay episode, I suppose.
It's one of those episodes. It didn't seem like it would have cost them a lot because they were, it's a studio episode really, and then they're out in the woods, so you don't really have to pay the trees to use the
Yeah, 'cause
land.
they actually went out into the woods.
Yeah, yeah. There's some production photos
Traffic
there.
lights and London Underground signs.
Yeah, the bus.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. Everything
but
like
but other than that, I mean, really, it's a self-contained episode. You got the 6 kids, the Doctor, Clara, and Danny, and the one mother, the mysteriously appearing other daughter, and
Yeah.
but not a lot of characters in it, so you don't low budget. I thought it was good for that kind of a show.
What did you think about the kids actually? Because I know that there's been loads of reviews, but I don't think many have actually focused in on the kids. What did you think about them,
I,
Charles?
I thought their attitude was a little bit different than we've had them before. I mean, they seemed more um, passive aggressive than they were in like the classroom. So I don't know if that's you know, from me because they're outside or what they're thinking on their attitude for. Because when they're in the classroom, they're kind of snotty and talking back, and when they're outside, they're asking permission and going on about things.
What about you, Connor?
Well, the kids were, if I'm going to say what I was going to say, the kids, like, I can understand, but they're not that good at acting and working with these actors, so I didn't quite see the characters, because I just thought this was like, you give just a random kid off the street a piece of paper and you tell him to say that in front of a camera. It was pretty much like that. I thought they were a bit wooden when it comes to acting, but yeah, but it was a good way they worked around the kids, but I just saw it as a bit of a pointless episode, but it would have worked as a charity special or like a comic relief, which is charity, to be honest.
Yeah, I quite like the kids. I suppose, like, particularly in the case of Harley Bird, the ginger girl with the used to that was talking throughout the whole episode.
Oh, loudmouth, yeah.
Yeah, she was like that annoying little kid that you always had on the school trips. But like, because she voiced Peppa Pig.
Did
So I
you?
think
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's the voice for Peppa
doing the
Pig.
voice work. Um,
Bloody hell.
than the actual acting. So I kind of, I mean, she has a few skills. I mean, you can tell that, but I just felt I quite enjoyed the kids. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I just felt that they were trying too hard to act good, and I just think that it kind of felt a bit. I don't know. It just felt a bit overacted in a way, I suppose. But I quite
Yeah,
enjoyed.
their good nature felt forced because of how we've seen them before. Or how the kids have been towards Danny or Clara before. In a classroom setting, in the classroom setting.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I thought that the most annoying kid I thought was that Bradley, the one with the long hair.
Oh, him.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that he was the most annoying of the lot. But yeah, he displayed a few good acting skills as well, I thought, although not many, because I don't think the kids really they didn't really do that much. Well, I don't think anyone did, to be honest. It was just kind of like um, we got they wake up from a sleepover in a museum, and then they find that the London is,
yeah,
and it's like and then they've got to find a way. I assume back to school, but the little girl who I can't remember her name. Um,
Maeve.
oh, Maeve. Yeah, her mother goes looking for her, and then we find out about her missing sister and like her depression or whatever, and she's taking all these medications and stuff. And it's kind of like we find out that she's the one that dreamt up the forest, effectively. Uh, so stuff like that. I just thought that I think that Maeve did an awful lot for the episode because it was kind of focused more around her, Danny, and Clara, but kind of like backup characters. So it kind of felt, I don't know, it felt like a tiny bit of a waste, but I still enjoyed them. So Has anyone else got any other thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, it was a pretty good episode, but the thing was that I didn't really like about it. The only bit I didn't like about it was that it, like I say, it had no plot for future episodes, and I think they could have done something there.
Yeah. Yes, I see what you mean. Like, I think, yeah, there could have been more of a plot to it. Like, I think we should have had an alien kind of in it. I don't know. Like, they could have had the crinoids from Tom Baker's era return or something, and that would have made the story even better. But I just think it was like it was a character development about the alien. But I would have liked an alien. I mean, we had those little whatever they were, looked like fireflies, to be honest. They were in Maeve's head or whatever. I don't even think they were given a name. But that was like the only alien thing we had. So it kind of felt like Doctor Who without an alien, which in a way isn't really Doctor Who, but the 6-year-olds this episode would have appealed. But other than that, for me personally, I think while I did quite enjoy it, I just didn't feel like it was. It kind of felt a bit out of place from the rest of the series. It was so focused around like kids and the kind of like 6 to 8-year-old kind of age group. It kind of felt a bit out of place, particularly with someone like Capaldi's Doctor, who's supposed to be this old grumpy man. I mean, I think with Matt Smith, that episode would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But while I enjoyed Capaldi in it, I just kind of felt that I would have, because now we're going into the finale, and yeah, we kind of, it would have been nice to have like something that was like much more memorable, as being like a darker, more, I don't know, with maybe with a few deaths or something. So then we can kind of like get. Although I'm pumped for this weekend, because obviously it looks like a fantastic episode, as we'll get to. It was just kind of like I don't know. I just felt that they could have put the darkness level up in it a bit. Because like from the trailer, I thought that it was gonna have this like dark, undertone, I'd say, to it, but it just didn't feel that dark at all. It was more focused. It was something you'd see on CBeebies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't kind of, if it wasn't Doctor Who, it'd be on CBeebies. So, yeah. Charles, do you have any other thoughts on the episode?
The only thing I was going to ask is how, because I found it kind of odd, how often is one of these sleepover in a museum go on in the UK? I never heard of such a thing.
Neither have I, to be honest. Not in a museum.
It doesn't
Is
happen.
that a thing or no?
I think it occasionally does happen, but not often. I think health and safety reasons and stuff like. And it's a museum. It's like a place of, where you put like artifacts and stuff. I just don't think that they kind of allow it that much because kids are kids, and it's.
Yeah, it's like letting a kid sleep in Warehouse 13.
Yeah, it's like letting a kid sleep in a factory or something.
Yeah, yeah. I found that a little odd, but I'm like, whatever. I guess. I mean, I guess you could set up something.
I mean, I don't think schools do it that often, but I do know of like scouts and brownies and all those kind of groups in the UK that they do occasionally sleep in places like museums, because they're kind of those adventurous kind of groups and stuff. And club set around adventure. So, but it's not often that you hear of anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
That was the only, that was really the only thing that struck me, right off the bat. But I mean, the episode itself, it was a self, you know, comprised episode. So, and like you've been saying, we got the 2 episodes coming up. It might have been just a good buffer episode to put us into the finale. Because they filmed this last, didn't they? They filmed this episode last.
Yeah, they filmed it last.
Even after the finale.
The reasoning for it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's all I have for last.
So what would you rate it out of 10?
I would have given it a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Not quite a watch all the time episode, but it was a good episode.
Yeah.
How about you, Connor?
If I had to rate it, well, I would. I'd say about maybe, possibly a 9, 8.5.
That's pretty good.
I originally I gave it a 9 because I really did enjoy it. It's kind of like a I don't know, a fun episode. I suppose it was one of the better fun episodes. But I don't know. At the moment, I'd probably give it an 8, maybe, because it did have its faults. But I suppose I quite enjoyed the simplistic, like you said, self-contained kind of like. There was only a few characters. It wasn't that big. It was kind of like it was just an easygoing episode.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said before, it could have just been a comic relief special, like a 4 or 5 minute special. They could have summed it up in 4 or 5 minutes, to be honest, but they just dragged it out a little. But it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it an 8, definitely.
Even if it dragged on, that doesn't mean it's bad.
Hmm.
No.
Right, so obviously we had In the Forest of the Night, and then right at the end we had the, in my opinion, best Next Time trailer for Dark Water. Charles, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh God. It's one of those. It's a culmination for the season, and we still don't know. It brings up Missy and who the heck is this girl? We still don't know. I mean, we've only been getting little bits and little that throughout the season. It's going to be a mind blower. Maybe, I'm hoping.
Yeah. What about you, Connor?
Well, the trailer is brilliant. Starts, we can see that Clara has turned against the Doctor, and as we were talking about yesterday, maybe that there is a body swap of some sort between Clara and Missy, and maybe the only way to get to the Doctor is to get through to the companion. So maybe Missy will have to possibly channel Clara and then body swap and turn against the Doctor, but not give it away that it isn't Clara.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think what I kind of thought of the Next Time trailer is that well, it's obvious now that I know at the beginning of the trailer, Clara appears in this this puff of smoke goes up in the air, and it's kind of like it's set in this kind of like place that looks a bit like the Doctor's time stream from The Name of the Doctor.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, but obviously now we know from the 10 hints we got on Cult Box that it's actually a volcano, which then leads on to the theories that we could be going back to Pompeii. to see Capaldi's other self, Caecilius, in Pompeii. But I thought, like, when I first heard Clara say, "Have I got your attention? You'll never step into your TARDIS again," I kind of thought, what could be going on here? Is Missy somehow having some impact over what Clara's saying or doing? Is she, like you said, is she body swapping with her? So then and then obviously in the next shot we see Missy, kind of like waking up from this sleep, and she's got like something on her head, I think, and it looks like a machine. So then that kind of like confirmed that obviously she's probably doing something with Clara, to get to the Doctor. But yeah, I just kind of thought that it was. We saw loads in that Next Time trailer. I mean, we saw the Cybermen. We saw what we now know is the Nether City. It's not actually London. The blacked out city with where you can.
Yeah, it's an odd skyline, and then you got those circular windows.
Yeah, I saw a tweet yesterday saying that's the Nether City. That's not London. So that kind of interested me more, like how expansive is the Nether Sphere.
Right.
I mean, because we've only seen a tiny part of it. We've seen the gardens, and then we've seen what looked like a hospital ward.
Right.
Now we know that there's a whole city in this. It kind of like makes you think about how big this Nether Sphere is. And then obviously, yeah, we saw the Cybermen. We saw like what's to come with London. We saw St. Paul's Cathedral turn into a missile launcher, or as I've been told, is actually flying Cybermen rather than missiles. We saw stuff like that, and then yeah, that was it really. And we saw some hints to the dead coming back as Cybermen and stuff. And I just thought that it was a brilliant trailer. For a Next Time trailer, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then obviously the next on Monday we got which had the Nether City in it, and we saw a skeleton hand kind of come out and press a button that said "Rest in Peace." And obviously then we saw the scene which we also saw in the Next Time trailer between Missy and the Doctor, where she kind of tells him, "You know who I am." So that kind of further makes people speculate about who she is, because it could be someone that he knows from a past adventure. It could be an old enemy, could be an old ally, it could be anyone, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
well,
what did you think about the TV trailer?
It was a little better. I mean, we got to see a little more. I'm interested to know though. I mean, you've talked about Clara maybe being possessed. I don't know if I'm not sure who she's talking to though. We don't see who the other person is. We can assume it's the Doctor, but she also could be talking to Missy. So I'm not sure on that. The skeleton hand that interests me. I'm interested to see how they're going to use the dead, because I've always been under the assumption that they have to use living people for Cybermen. That's kind of interesting.
well, all they need is the brain, because if they can make
Well,
them
yeah.
work,
Well, that's the idea. I mean, if they're dead, the brain is rotted away. So
oh, yeah, that's a fact. But
using DNA.
there was set photos of a sort of graveyard, and it had like loads of past companions' graves, and I was
Right.
thinking that maybe I might get a glimpse of Adric's grave, and we know that Amy and Rory's grave is obviously there. So it might be inside the Doctor's mind. I was just thinking, but yeah, in the TV trailer, we get to see a lot more.
Yeah.
And there was a 1 minute clip leaked last night, which I watched, which was, I won't give away too much. It wasn't that much of a spoiler. But
It's been out there before, though. I mean, that scene has been out before.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, definitely, because I definitely want to talk about that one because there was a bit of interest. There's some interesting dialogue in that scene. But going back to the next time trailer, what about at the end where Clara said, "I'm not Clara Oswald. Clara Oswald never existed." What did you think about that?
That might be something to do about Clara Oswald, the impossible girl. She was born to save the Doctor, maybe, but I don't want them dragging that back up. But I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see what that's going to be about. For her to not exist, it means that she's either been playing the Doctor this whole time, and we haven't been given any kind of indication that she's been, double-handed. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was. When I first heard it, I thought about could it be linked to the fact that Clara because she did enter the Doctor's timeline and she was kind of like scattered throughout time and space. I mean, she was Oswin,
Right.
the Snowman as a Victorian barmaid and everything like that. I thought that it could perhaps be the fact that this Clara that is kind of traveling with the Doctor at the moment could just be another version of the actual Clara Oswald, if she ever existed. I mean, I just thought it could kind of be the fact that she's just taken on this name, and as a person she doesn't actually exist. Or she could just be hiding her identity, or she could just be possessed by Missy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1,000 things that you can come up with to explain why she said that. But yeah, I thought that bit really did interest me, along with many other people, because it just kind of brought back that Impossible Girl kind of storyline, which we thought was wrapped up, but who knows now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could always return.
Yeah, they could always bring it up here and there, but I mean, I like he said, like we said, I don't really want to see that come up all that often. You don't want to be, but I'll be interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah. And as Connor Smyth mentioned, the clip that we got yesterday, seen it on Twitter and other such social networking sites before, because it was basically of the Doctor running down. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it or you don't want to see it. He kind of is running down this kind of like street, and he's telling people to get out the way and to run for their lives because the Cybermen are kind of coming out of the big building, aren't they? Which I don't think it's St. Paul's Cathedral.
No, it's because they did it especially because in the Invasion there's a classic scene where they walk down the steps, which I'm sure you're aware of. So
Yeah.
they made sure that if they were going to London to a big building, they made sure it was that one.
It didn't look like St. Paul's Cathedral, though. It just looked like this huge building. And I mean, there is another clip where they kind of like it extends a bit more before where we start off on the clip that everyone originally saw, like where you can see the Cybermen marching out of it, and it's kind of like it's the place where all the tombs are and stuff. So that could be in St. Paul's Cathedral, who knows? But yeah, and then obviously you see the Doctor running out and telling everyone to get out of the way, and then Missy sat on the pavement or the steps, like further down the street, and she's like effectively taking the piss out of the Doctor, saying, "Oh, it's another ranting Scotsman. I didn't know there was a match on and stuff." She was like, I don't know whether she was trying to anger him or anything, or she was just being evil about it. But then she told him to kind of like calm down and stop shouting and stuff. And like he asked her who she was, and she said, "You know who I am. I'm Missy." And then he asked like, "Who's Missy?" And I thought that was a really interesting scene. But like in between that, she did mention something about after she told the Doctor to calm down, that all the graves on planet Earth will burn. It's not exactly very clear what she says from the clip, but it's definitely, I've been told that it's definitely graves.
Well, that's a link to what I was saying before about the set pictures where they were on a graveyard full of companions' names.
Yeah, which means then we could possibly see, like, you know, the graves of Amy, Rory, Victoria and Clara, Ellie Oswald, everything like that return. But then obviously
Adric, I think, definitely.
gravestone that said it was like a Gallifrey one. I think it said "Rest in peace, we promise." I'm not absolutely sure, but it kind of thought like felt like maybe that's to do with the Doctor. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the that clip that we got yesterday? It was leaked.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen that one before from someone on Twitter who had been there and posted it. Now, obviously, we didn't hear all the dialogue on that, and then so in here we get a little more the idea that he knows who she is and all that. You know, it just adds more to her speculation. I'm not. I don't think that clip is too spoilery for the episode, so I think it's all right that it got leaked. I'm alright with it.
Yeah. What about you, Connor Smyth?
Pardon?
What do you think about the clip that we got yesterday, the leaked one?
Oh, the clip, yeah. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it didn't give too much away, but it did definitely sort of confirm some things, in a way. But yeah. Oh, there's another trailer just been posted, I think. But yeah, the clip, obviously it shows the Doctor, but it shows Missy acting calm and like maybe she's done something and she just doesn't care, and the Doctor's trying to clear the area, but she's just telling people like, "Oh, just calm down" and that, and she's just she's just basically done something and she doesn't care and she hasn't realised the consequences of what she's done.
Yeah, she's effectively just telling the Doctor what her plans are and what she wants to do to Earth.
But something to me tells me that people are saying she's bad, but maybe she could have an element of good in her. But I'm just not sure.
Yeah, like at first, when I first saw her in Deep Breath, I thought, oh, this is probably going to be a good character. I mean, she's going to side with the Doctor. But then, like, further on in the series, and now with, like, what I'm hearing about Dark Water in reviews and stuff, she's quite evil, along with Seb, played by Chris Addison, who we haven't seen much of, who was only in The Caretaker. And, like, the plotting against the Doctor, so it was quite strange that, like, she did kind of go from this thing that we could associate as a good character to an evil character. So I think, like you said, I think that she's got an element of good in her, but she's also evil. So maybe she's like kind of got two personalities. So it'll be interesting to see like how she turns out and who she is. To be honest,
there are a lot of instances in Doctor Who where the bad guy, although not necessarily evil, just is going about doing things the way he thinks it needs to be done, So whether that's evil or bad or whatever, but that's the way it is. As far as Missy, I think she's going to end up being this the baddie for the season, but I think she's also going to continue to next season. So I don't think we're going to get a resolution to her this year.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of her either, to be honest, in Death in Heaven. I don't think we will see the last of her, to be honest.
I know I'm going to get told off for this, but maybe the Doctor could have to bring out the good side in this. I know I'm going to get told off in the comments for this because it sounds a bit cliche, but maybe Missy's like both. She's good and bad, but she doesn't know which one to be, and she has to sort of be taught how to. She has to be sort of taught by the Doctor what side to be on. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then maybe she's confused.
Yeah, I think she's probably a bit confused. She kind of strikes me as a psychopath that's maybe just a bit confused, and she doesn't exactly know, like, whether she is good or bad. A bit like the Doctor himself. I mean, like we've seen him ask if he's a good man. I mean, he's not quite sure who he is yet, and I think maybe that could be a link in. Who knows? But so who do you think Missy is? Connor, who do you think Missy could be? I mean, who are you hoping she is?
I'm hoping that Missy isn't the female master. That's all I'm hoping. But I think Missy is going to be. I don't want to say it, but looking at things now and that post that someone posted to Twitter, I think that Missy has a connection with Clara, and I don't know. Maybe Missy is the older Clara because she said, "Oh, I did choose well." Maybe she was saying, "Oh, I chose my friends well. I chose the Doctor, and now I'm coming back to seek revenge on what he's done to my younger self or something." I don't know, but I'm just hoping she isn't the older version. And another way to say that she isn't is because she's Scottish and Clara is Northern. She's from Blackpool or some.
Yeah, she's from Blackpool. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if she was from Blackpool or Yorkshire. But people have been saying Missy is Clara, but it might be. We just don't know. And if I had to say I was wishing Missy could be someone, I think definitely a Gallifreyan. Definitely a rogue Gallifreyan, but she could also be the Rani, but we don't know.
Yeah.
But as some people say, oh, it can't be the Rani because Big Finish own the Rani. But I don't know.
I think she is the Rani. Like yesterday when we saw the clip, I thought there was kind of like that Rani-ish kind of personality to her. She kind of like, I don't know, she was flirting with the Doctor a tiny bit, and it kind of felt like, but she still had that evil in her, and she wanted to, like, I don't know, do whatever she wants with the Doctor, and she kind of wanted to, she obviously had these plans and stuff, and she just felt a bit like the Rani to me. So I'm hoping she's the Rani, but I also think she could be Mercy Hartigan from the next Doctor, because I know that me and Charles were discussing it yesterday about her possibly, because we don't know what happened to Mercy in the next Doctor, and obviously she's closely linked with the Cybermen anyway, from that previous episode in Tennant's era. So
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean now.
yeah, the one with the red dress who became the Cyber King.
Is that the one with David Morrissey in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know which one you mean now. I was like, who's Mercy? I was trying to have to remember then.
yeah, Mercy Hartigan. What about you, Charles? Who are you hoping Missy is?
I'll be happy if it's somebody new. I'd be happy if it's that Hartigan, because I don't think she's someone you would expect to be coming back, and I would like that more than say the Master or the Ronnie. Because once you start expecting it, you know, sometimes they just kind of write it in. Okay, well they want that, but that I'd rather see it be someone you don't expect. So I would like her, or something entirely different. But we already know that she knows the Doctor, and the Doctor's supposed to know her. So whether he recognizes her or not, that might be a clue too.
Yeah, I think that's it, really, isn't it? Just to end, we'll have a quick news roundup, like what we've had throughout the week. So I'll just share my screen. Right. So starting off, today we got a pretty special announcement, actually, that there's going to be a day/time of the Doctor soundtrack. I think it's 2 discs.
Oh, that's brilliant, Matt. I was
Yeah,
waiting for this.
One dedicated to each episode. Disc 1 has 23 tracks on, all from Day of the Doctor. Yeah. No, there's a few there that kind of like I couldn't really tell you which each track is, like what song it is, because obviously it's been unnamed until now. So, and then obviously we've got an 18-track disc 2 from Time of the Doctor, including the 11th Doctor's like regeneration song, the 12th Doctor's introduction song. Yeah, and we've got kind of like all those. Like, I think we've also got the song included with the clock tower speech, stuff like that.
That's a bit coincidental. The 24th of November instead of the 23rd.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taken them so long to actually release it. Taken them. Oh, it'll be a year and 1 day since the Day of the Doctor aired. So it's been a bit. It's been a massive gap between the episode and the soundtrack. I hope we don't get that long with Series 8 soundtrack, because I really want the Series 8 soundtrack, because I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. They haven't announced it yet, but I think I can tell which is the 8th not the 8th, the 12th Doctor's theme already.
Yeah, it's definitely been identified, and it's in every episode.
It's definitely the one from that scene where he's telling everyone to move. It's definitely that one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. Charles, what are your thoughts on this soundtrack that was announced today?
Yeah, this is good news, because like you said, there's been a long time wait. I don't know why it shouldn't take this long to get it out. I mean, you already got the music. It should already be, and you're gonna do it. It should only take a few months to do.
Yeah.
But here, it's been a year. I don't know why, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna be getting that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be getting that.
Yeah.
It was Matt Smith's birthday yesterday. He was 32. So happy birthday, Matt, for yesterday.
It's John Cleese's birthday yesterday.
Yeah, it was John Cleese's as well.
It's Edwin Van der Sars.
32, to be honest. He feels younger. Or he looks a lot younger as well. than 32.
Yeah.
If we're going to do birthdays, it's Edwin van der Sar's birthday today.
Who?
Who?
Edwin van der Sar, he was one of the best Premier League goalkeepers, played for United.
Oh
He's
god.
Dutch. He's amazing.
Football. Yeah.
It's his birthday today.
Yeah, and I think the other major news, obviously, of the week is that we've got these promo pictures for Dark Water. Obviously, we've got this main shot here of Missy and the Doctor holding a Mondasian Cybermen head with the modern day Cybermen in the background, St. Paul's Cathedral, and then we've got this extended gallery. We've got we now know his name is Dr. Chang, played by who I think is in Gotham, isn't he, Connor?
He looks like Nigma from Gotham. I'm not sure if it is him, but he does sort of look like him.
Yeah, and we don't know who he is, but he's definitely working for Missy, I think. Then we've got him again, Clara, obviously sitting at the table with the Doctor and Dr. Chang. Then this is interesting. We've kind of got a Cybermen on show.
It looks like the collector's office from Guardians of the Galaxy, but obviously you haven't seen that, so you won't know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
It does look like, but it won't be. It might just be an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a collection. Even maybe like what we got in Dalek.
Henry Van Staten, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we've obviously got Clara observing the Cyberman on display, and there's a lot of machines in this room. So we could assume that this is either in the Nethersphere, or it's in Missy's base in London, in the big building that we see all the Cybermen
Right.
moving out of in the clip that we got yesterday. Then we've got Danny. I've heard some interesting things about Danny in this episode. Actually, what we're going to be getting from him. I've heard that we kind of see flashbacks of his army life. We finally get to get a bit more character development as to who he is. He's obviously on the phone to someone, probably Clara, to be honest, checking up on her like he has been doing. He's a bit of a control freak, isn't he, Danny Pink?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've said this season though that she's a control freak too. So
Yeah, they go together quite well. Then we've got the Cybermen, obviously. What looks like St. Paul's Cathedral in the background.
I really like the design of the new Cyberman.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. It's got quite a lot of hate.
Yeah. But it's a lot better than the Russell T Davies era one.
I do kind of agree, though, that they do look a bit like Iron Man.
Yeah, sort of, but they look a bit more futuristic. They look more flexible and like they can do more. Like, if one of those other Cybermen came to your house, you'd be more scared of the new one than the old one, to be honest. Because people make jokes about the old Cybermen because they just look so boring. Like, they don't have anything to them. But these new Cybermen, they're quite advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look more like they're
Chris Anderson.
down, more human-like. You know, like you say, like Iron Man is kind of a human-looking shell. So.
Yeah, and then next, obviously, we've got Chris Addison
Think of it.
looking a bit unhinged. A bit psychotic, maybe, a bit of a lunatic. Obviously, with Missy holding a machine towards him, so maybe she's controlling him as well with that machine in her hand.
I definitely want Chris Addison's character to be one that I like, because I don't want to. Because Chris Addison's such a great actor, and obviously he was in Mock the Week and The Thick of It. He's such a good actor, so I want to like his character in Doctor Who. I want to see it return.
Yeah. Then we've got Chris Addison looking at something. I don't know. He looks quite dazed there, to be honest.
It looks like a Cyberman eye.
It does, yeah. That's what I was just about to point out. I mean, it could be a prison cell. Who knows? Something that kind of like Missy puts her workers in to keep them contained and under control, perhaps. Which could be could be another part of the episode. Then we've got the Doctor, and Missy looking like she's going in for a hug with a Cyberman. Yeah.
There's someone up there taking a selfie with a Cyberman.
Yeah, there's quite a lot in. Like here, we've got another one here, like taking selfies and smiling with Cybermen, and here.
Maybe Missy's pranking the public, saying, "Oh, they're a nice public attraction," and people going over the Cybermen, taking pictures, and then the Cybermen are killing them.
Possibly.
That's what I was thinking. Like, oh, look at these awesome robots. Are they from a different country or something? Then you go over to them, you take pictures with them, and then Missy could just say one word, and they could snap and kill you.
Yeah. Then we've got a Cyberman here as well. Missy, Doctor. Obviously, they're probably talking to each other. This could be right after the scene that we saw on the clip.
It could be during that scene, actually.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Another person taking a picture with a Cyberman. Missy pulling a pose. Even more pissed at what's going on in front of him.
But it does look like Peter Capaldi's acting there, so maybe people think it's a public attraction that they've brought these robots. Like I say, one word and they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that'll be it. But it might not be, but I don't know.
This is definitely during the scene that we saw yesterday. This is probably when he asks who Missy is. We've seen this definitely, and then there's obviously the Cybermen here. So if you want to see that scene, then it's in the clip that we got yesterday. A shot of the iconic remake of the Patrick Troughton invasion scene with the Cybermen with St. Paul's Cathedral in the background.
I was hoping that they'd use the radiophonic music and sort of edit it to sound more modern, because if they did that with that scene, that would just be so brilliant.
Yeah. Then we've got more Cybermen in front of St. Paul's Cathedral. Yeah. I don't know what the Cybermen's purpose could be in this episode, because they don't look too evil, to be honest. To be perfectly honest with you. I think they're just a bit of a distraction away from Missy and Seb, and who are the real enemies. But yeah, then we've got the Doctor looking at something, with Missy in the background coming out of the building that we see the Cybermen march out of in the clip that we got yesterday.
I'm hoping that the Daleks will be used in the next few episodes, because to be honest, I'm missing the Daleks.
They've been overused, I think, over the past few.
I know, but they've not been used for like 10 episodes or something, is it? The second episode, so it'll be 8 episodes. But yeah, maybe this is Missy showing off like what she can do, what she can summon, like the Cybermen that the Doctor's probably things that the Doctor's killed, she can summon back to life. So they could possibly have inclusion with Daleks and old companions and enemies. You never know. Possibly,
yeah. They're not wrapped for the pictures.
Maybe the characters that have died, like the half-faced man.
Yeah.
First episode, maybe they could be returning. I don't know.
What do you think about the pictures, Charles?
They're great pictures. It's going to be a great next few episodes. I like your idea, Connor. about the radiophonic workshop music being mixed in. I'd like to hear that. Have it put in there. That would be a good touch.
Yeah. And then we've obviously got the Series 8 UK ratings accumulator here that's kind of going through all the episodes so far, giving the audio audience appreciation kind of like rating, and obviously the overnights and final figures.
Well, it looks
Sorry, what was that?
it looks like the average is 8.20 or that. It's definitely the average is about 0.8, 0.7 maybe.
Yeah, I actually don't think that the ratings have been too bad this year. It's got a lot of stick for being low ratings, but
Yeah.
I mean, particularly like for the audio appreciation like numbers, we've got I don't. It's in the 80s. It varies in the 80s, which is pretty good. I mean,
To be honest about the figures, I don't care how many people are watching it, as long as I'm watching it and I know other people are watching it. To be honest, I don't really care if that many people are watching it, because it's actually, if I'm enjoying Doctor Who, why should I have to care if some million other people are enjoying it? As long as the show keeps going. I hate when people like say, "Oh, it's bad because it's getting low figures," but that doesn't matter that much as long as you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and the figures they've been mediocre. I mean, they have been bad. I mean, Tenet got good ratings, but that was Tenet.
yeah. Everyone loved Tennant. I don't know. I just think that Peter Capaldi, the basing Peter Capaldi off the ratings a bit. I get the impression that they're doing that, and it's just it's stupid because like there's so many things that the ratings don't include.
Well,
Such
say
as, thingy.
Do they include iPlayer?
iPlayer views and stuff.
not included. It says at the bottom in the final figure.
Yeah, I'm not included in, and people watch on iPlayer all the time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably the number one way of watching TV at the moment.
Yeah, it's on demand now. Everything's on demand. No one tunes in because everyone's out on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and I mean, like for the Flatline, I mean, we've got a pretty good final rating and audio appreciation number. We got 6.71 million final for Flatline, which is a pretty decent number, I suppose.
But saying this about the figures, they tried to pin the fact that Eccleston left early was because of the figures and because he didn't want to be typecast, but that's not the case, is it? There was bullying going on at the BBC and everything, so that's what people are thinking, that if the figures are bad, they're going to fire that doctor. But no, it's down to other reasons, and
Yeah.
they just lie to make people just think, oh, they've done it because they're rubbish. Well, they're not rubbish, because the figures were quite good. They were better than Series 2, because it was a massive. It was massive because Doctor Who had been coming back after 9 years. Well, we'll skip that rubbish movie. It's 16 years. It's brilliant. That's why there were so many people tuning in, and they tried to blame the fact that Eccleston left was on the figures. So I'm hoping that Capaldi doesn't leave early because of the figures.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously for In the Forest of the Night we got a 5.03 million overnight rating, which I suppose isn't too bad. I mean, it's an improvement on Flatline, which got 4.6 million. So obviously the final figures are yet to be released for In the Forest of the Night. We'll get that on Sunday. Yeah, Charles, what are your thoughts on the views that we've the viewing figures that we've seen and the audience appreciation figures that we've seen?
I'm not worried. I don't think the figures are that bad. The audience rating, I think that's the best part that you get out of this, is that you know the people who are watching it are liking it. So I don't think they should take too much into account for the ratings. I don't think. I'm looking at um, the last few series. Like, let's see, um, Eccleston averaged about 7, 8. I think we're looking at here an average of an 8. Tennant was averaging about the same, and then
Yeah,
sometimes here. Then Matt, he was averaging about a 7.5. So it might be down a little bit, but I still think it's pretty good numbers.
yeah, yeah. It hasn't have been amazingly bad this year. I think they've
No.
been pretty decent, to be
And
honest.
like you say, they're not including that iPlayer. A lot of people, even over here with the on-demand, use that more often than when they see it live, because you can watch things on Hulu or Netflix now, and um, the cable companies have their own on-demand where you can go in and watch the previous night's episode. So if by not including that, I think they hurt that a bit, because they're not. That's how a lot of people watch it now.
Yeah,
You're lucky to get that many people home watching and sitting in front of their TV. People work, people have this or that. So
yeah. So that's it, pretty much for news. Yeah, that's it for news today. So I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Charles and Connor, for joining.
You're welcome.
yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Charles, we've got a show coming on Sunday now, haven't we?
yeah, we're going to be doing a cleanup show there for Dark Water on Sunday, about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is what did we say that was British Standard Time?
Um,
Drawing a
Either
blank.
BST or GMP, GMT, I think.
it'll be 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends on what time zone it is, doesn't it? So it'll be about 4, yeah.
Yeah,
so yeah, Sunday evening, we'll have a discussion about Dark Water. It'll be me, Connor. We'll be having a guest coming on. That's Megan Salinas. You'll recognize her from the AfterBuzz podcast and videocast there on YouTube. So she'll be joining us on Sunday.
yeah. I'm really excited for this one. Actually, it's going to be a. So yeah, we've got a double bill of New Who review every week now, which is exciting. So yeah, I hope you can join us then. Yeah, it'll be
Yep.
fun.
Yeah, as always, we'll have our we'll have all our information in the box below. If you have any comments or questions for us, put that in the below as well. We'd be glad to hear from you.
Yeah, make sure you comment, subscribe, follow us on Google Plus, follow our individual accounts on Google Plus, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anything. We'll all put the links in the description so you can find us easily there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and we'll obviously update our page all the time, so you'll be able to tell like when every show is and latest news from the podcasts. Yeah, depending on what happens. So yeah. Thanks again, Connor and Charles.
Not a problem, bro.
Yeah, so we'll see you all later. Bye bye.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.